We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years, approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a third grade education will tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, I leave, since I haven't spoken on this by a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America.
America refused to give the Negro any land. Through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. This is what we are faced with. And this is a reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we're coming to get our check.
We are owed $104 trillion on the very low end, plus $735 billion recurring. This number does not include the cost of about 50 Black Wall Streets that were decimated, nor compound interest from 2017 when Sean D. Rochester's book, The Black Tax, was published, nor the cost of Black life, nor the cost of living increases, nor the war on drugs, nor the current day pandemic. The number I'm working with is for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives. Good evening on the West Coast. Good evening in the mountain. Good evening in the central. Good evening on the East Coast. You know exactly who it is, family. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Reparationist Perspective, bringing you those ADOCs hot topics, those Freedmen hot topics, and making the case for reparations, making the case for weaponizing our vote and socializing our suffering. And today, family, I'm putting a huge spotlight on the puckery going down at Howard University. Yes, I'm here to support the students who are protesting against the deplorable conditions they are expected to live amongst, despite how the president is trying to minimize what's going down. We're going to get into it today and talk about how the descendants of freedmen are living like a third world country at Howard University, the second highest rated HBCU in the nation. Oh, yeah, I'm going to talk about that because these are our children. Well, I don't know of the 70% that are at the college that are black, 71%. I don't know what percentage descends from U.S. chattel slavery and what percentage is black immigrant. But I'm here to tell you, my fight is for that of the heinous chattel slavery that our ancestors endured to make education even possible. And we're in 2021. It is deplorable to me on every affront, and I must talk about it. I must keep a spotlight on it, and especially given some of my other updates that I'll be bringing you relative to, what name do I want to call him? Oh, Biden, who's withdrawing money from the HBCU. Could it be because they're mismanaging the money? I don't know, but these conditions are deplorable, and I'm here to expose it. So welcome one and all. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Do know that I can't see all of you. I can't see you if you're tuning in from Facebook. I can't see you if you're tuning in from Twitter. So if you want me to acknowledge you and you want to participate as my co-host in the chat, you must do so over at ScrewTube. Okay, family? So that's the Reparationist perspective on the ScrewTube platform. That's the only way I can see you and name you, give you a shout out, and read your comments. So without further ado, let's dig into it because I hope to have enough energy to do another segment. What's up, Terry Lewis? Thank you so much, fam, for joining the live. Thank you. And remember, family, if you want me to shout you out, I can't do it if you're on Facebook or Twitter. I can only see YouTube. So you can hop on over there if you choose to participate in the exchange. So I want to get into Ahmaud Arbery trial, day one. So I hope to have enough energy. If I don't, I'll try to bring that back tomorrow or Thursday around some of the advocacy work I've got to do. So I want to jump right into it. So hopefully this will be short and then I can get into the highlights of what is going on with that trial. And it's already pissing me off. Already. But let's dig into this topic. So the New York Post here, and I want to share, I can't see you if you're typing at the moment. I'm on a different screen, but I'll be back. I want to talk about the Howard University students who are currently protesting say that the dorms are filled with rats, roaches, and mold. Let's dig in. Outraged Howard University undergraduate students claim they are being forced to live in deplorable housing conditions with rats, cockroaches, mold, and mushrooms plaguing their dorm rooms. Now, we're in the middle of a pandemic. It cost about $120,000 to do 4 years at Howard University, and the undergraduate students are claiming that they live in very deplorable conditions, of which I'm going to share some footage with you momentarily, because it is truly deplorable. And how dare the university professor, the president of the university, try to play this down in an open letter, trying to dial back the shame and the stain on this institution during homecoming weekend. I think that is this weekend. I don't even know if they're going to continue to have the events. I know Gucci Mane pulled out from performing, in solidarity with the students who are protesting. How in the world are you held to $120,000 per year for a 4-year degree, undergraduate, at what is alleged to be the number 2 HBCU in the nation, and your conditions are as deplorable as living amongst rats, cockroaches, mold, and mushrooms? that are plaguing their dorms. Now, when I attended Howard, I lived off campus, but I hear that this is nothing new. One of my very dear friends who I thought would be able to come on and talk about when she was at Howard protesting these same conditions. She's in her mid to late 40s. And so this isn't new, and this is why this is troubling. But let's move on. More than 100 students at the historically Black college in D.C. have been staging a 2-week protest over their living conditions after accusing university administrators of ignoring their complaints. Me speaking. This is Kabami School, family. This is where the Skiwi Kabami attended, and I've not heard any public statements from her about these students protesting. I'm sure this was not her plight, given that she's truly East Indian Brahmin caste with a Jamaican father. I'm sure she didn't have to live in these conditions. They charge these students $9,300 a year to live on the campus in what I'm about to show you. The students have pitched tents on school grounds and have been sleeping en masse in the school's main student center, Blackburn University Center, as the protest continues. I wouldn't even recommend sleeping outside anywhere. I remember being on the campus one evening and screaming my head off. The whole entire football dorm ran out to see if I was being murdered because I had just bore witness to a rat as big as a cat crossing the yard. And the rat looked at me like I was the one with the problem, like I was disrupting his calm piece of his soul. That's how the rat looked at me and gave me a, kind of like he was going to come and eat me for dinner. So I pray that they're not sleeping on that yard, because if they get bit by one of those, I don't know if they can live to tell it. They have been posting photos on social media under the hashtag Blackburn Takeover of the alleged conditions in their dorms, including mushrooms blooming under the sink, mold spreading on their clothes and belongings, and flooded pipes. Now, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and you're at an institution that charges you $30,000 a year, including books, and you are in mold, which can cause serious issues to the respiratory system and make your body a COVID playground. So you got vaccine mandates, but there's no mandates to make Howard University the second most accomplished HBCU in the nation to clean up the dorms so our freedmen, our descendants of freedmen, young adults, can live in America, the very America that their ancestors built with their lives through the worst heinous chattel slavery. They get to spend $9,300 a year for their housing, roughly $30,000 for tuition and books. That $9,300, I don't know if it's included or not. It's neither here nor there. $30,000 to $40,000 a year to live in these kind of conditions. In the middle of a pandemic. Current and former students have also chronicled what they claim are rat and mice infestations in their rooms. You heard that. Current and former. That's what I'm telling you. My very dear sister friend was living and dealing with these conditions when she attended Howard. She has since withdrawn her support as an alum. And now she's on the side with the students, helping them to be successful and ensuring that they stay safe. She's very concerned about the welfare of the children, the young adults, because they are set up in the Blackburn Center, and the president is talking about it needs to get cleared now. And they're persisting through their protest as they should. Undergraduate on-campus housing fees at Howard are about $9,300 per year, according to the college. Howard University did not immediately respond to the Post's request for comment about the living conditions. Students are demanding the university address the housing woes and their claims that the school makes it difficult for them to access resources, including housing and financial aid. One of the longest standing HBCUs in the nation. More than 100 students have been staging a 2-week protest over their living conditions. Bro, they're refusing to relocate us from our dorm, even though it's flooding. And I've already slipped and fell today, says one of the students. They go by Fandy. And so I want to show you this video. And then we're going to talk about the lame president and his lame letter. Hold on. Welcome to the live, my loves. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. I am being shadow banned, and I cannot see your comments or your entry or your viewings from Facebook nor Twitter. Thank you, one and all, for indulging me tonight as I share this horrific story about how our young adults are living on the number 2 ranked HBCU in the nation. Let me share this video footage. Now, let me just keep that up there. Now, the lame president of Howard has sent a letter demanding that they vacate the Blackburn Center. Because as far as he's concerned, it's just 100 students protesting these deplorable conditions. The majority of the students are fine with it. Come again? Are you freaking kidding me? Let me stop sharing. But yeah, and my concern is, would it be okay for any one of our children, his included, to live amongst what you just saw? And it gets worse. I'll show it to you. We'll look at a few photos. This is deplorable. This is deplorable, but he says, oh, not everyone's complaining. It's just, 100 of them protesting those deplorable conditions I just showed you. Some students claim they have been threatened with disciplinary action over the protest. Howard President Wayne Frederick and members of the administration met with student leaders from the protest last week to hear their demands, according to university spokesperson. Quote, we have discussed the proposed list of demands and have opened the dialogue that will continue to address their concerns, the spokesperson said in a Twitter statement. So I'm going to go back after I finish reading this part. The administration's goal has always been to listen to the concerns of our students and find a path forward. While we may not always agree, we remain open to dialogue and solutions. What the entire, I'm trying my best to not curse or go totally off the rails, but this is deplorable. So I'm going to share my screen again so you can see more of what's really going on over at Howard as they try to act as if the health department shouldn't shut them all the way down. Lord have mercy, all this little stuff surrounding my pictures. But I want to show you what these kids are talking about. Oh, Lord. Here they are sleeping in the Blackburn Center. Some are sleeping outside. Now, see, to me, this is dangerous. This is very dangerous. Let me see if you guys can see it. Let me make it bigger. Make me smaller. Okay, this is very dangerous. Remember at the top of the show, I shared how there were rats as big as cats crossing the yard when I used to attend back in the 80s? I'm sure those rats are now in the dorm. I'm sure that this is what they're speaking to. Those rats can easily get in there and harm the children, the young adults. Let's keep exposing more. Blackburn takeover. So I guess they're inside the Blackburn Center too. It's 100 of them, more than 100 students. This has been going on for 2 weeks, family. That's the video I just shared with you of the mold and the water and the students saying they had a slip and fall. This is inside the dormitories. And like I mentioned, this has been going on forever. Between 2018 and 2020, they've amassed $140 million. Each of these students, undergrad, pay $120,000 for undergrad to attend Howard, which is said to be the second most successful HBCU. Here's a mold on the shoes. Look at this. As the president tries to play this down, a hole in their dorm room ceiling. And he's trying to play this down and play it off as if the majority of the students are fine under these deplorable conditions. There was more. There was mold collecting on the back of one of the framed photos. There it is. This is some type of framed photo of some sort. And there's mold growing on the back of it in the middle of a pandemic when COVID attacks your respiratory system. Yeah. This is what's going on at the number 2 HBCU in the nation. This is what our young adults have to contend with. I don't know what percentage are descendants of freedmen. I don't know that part because it's hard to find that information, because in this country, it's advantageous to just lump all Black together to mask the failure of this government, wherein our people are concerned. Okay? The descendants of U.S. chattel slavery. So, Howard University's largest donation ever raises questions about who gets the donor coins. Let's talk about it. Students in Howard University's CARC STEM Scholars Program say they tend to feel the lack of diversity in their fields most when they go on their summer internships. A lot of times we're one of something, says Adojowo Osea Intasanse, a junior from Laurel, Maryland, studying biology, chemistry, and community health. One of the only women, or one of the only Black students. Now, you see what I mean? When you flatten Blackness, you can't tell who this is really happening to. This is problematic. I'm just going to leave that up there while I finish this segment. And so it's clear that she's an immigrant. She might be from Nigeria, which is more than likely she's a descendant of slave traders. So, or one of the only Black students. Now we get to see that there's a real need for us. So that just fuels us to want to do more and be more. Now, after a $10 million gift from the Karsh Family Foundation last month, the STEM scholars at Howard will be able to support more students. The program was previously called the Bison STEM Scholars Program. It has since been renamed. According to David Bennett, Howard University's Vice President of Development, it is the largest gift given by a living individual in the institution's history. It came about a month after the university announced what was previously tied for the largest individual gift, $4 million from the Hopper Dean Foundation, also given to the STEM program. Courting gifts like this represents a change in strategy, Bennett said, and the university is launching big and bold programs, believing that they'll attract big and bold investments. Okay, the gifts are also opening up larger conversations about which institutions tend to get private donor money and why. If you go back, say, 5 or 6 years ago, Howard was raising $10 million a year from all sources for all programs, Bennett said. So the idea that our work and our students are now attracting individual gifts of $10 million is a profound change in philanthropy for the university. But the individual gifts of $4 million and $10 million are small when you compare Howard to non-HBCUs nearby. The University of Maryland at College Park received a private gift of $219 million in 2017. In 2013, Georgetown University received a gift of $100 million. They have great programs, said Bennett. The idea that we should just replicate what they're doing and have the same results would be nice, but it doesn't understand the HBCU context. About half of Howard University students receive federal grants to help pay for college, and the university is doing better than many others at graduating those students on time. Bennett is confident that a segment of the donor market wants to support that work. My point in this article, family, is that they clearly have the money. I don't know which of our students, given that there was only one African woman in STEM at Howard University. So I don't know if any of our children are benefiting from that money. My whole point is they're getting plenty of money to not have our kids, our young adults living in those deplorable conditions for $120,000 over the course of 4 years, $9,300 of which is used on their housing. Or in addition, I don't even know. It's hard to get a handle on that data. But that's my point in sharing that. So 71.3% Black or African American. Once again, they flattened Blackness at Howard. So it's still very much a 2/3 majority. Let's see, a little more than that. 6, 9, 13, 10, 11, 12. About 30%, well, 6.1% is Hispanic or Latina, 3.37% 2 or more races, 2.78% Asian, 2.26% white, and 1.17% American Indian or Alaska Native, and 0.213% Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islanders. So Black still dominates on the campus, but I hear that the professors and the administration is predominantly immigrant. And so, some of the other groups that Kamala really fell into can afford to live off campus and just get the education there. Yeah, they're not living in these deplorable conditions like our descendants of freedmen, like our American descendants of U.S. chattel slavery. They're not living in those conditions I just showed you. Trust and believe. So I have another article. Howard University students are protesting. I definitely have been disappointed in my experience as a freshman struggling with the Washington, D.C. campus's living conditions. Here's more on that. While the expectations of the first year of college tend to be linked to independence and new opportunities, Chandler Robinson, a freshman at Howard University in D.C., said her expectations were much different than reality. I can't lie. I definitely have been disappointed in my experience, she said. Robinson is one of the many students at the top tier, historically Black university who have been protesting the living conditions and educational challenges on campus for weeks. Hold on one second, family. Okay, many students have reported to the university and shared on social media mold in the dorms, Wi-Fi connectivity problems, dining halls infested with rats and roaches, and an unresponsive administration. The mold problem began over the summer due to a flood on campus, Robinson told NBC News. Mold has since been identified in at least 38 dorm rooms out of 2,700 total rooms on campus, an official from Howard University confirmed to NBC News. Now, I don't care what that official says. If they don't get the mold under control, it will spread throughout the other 2,700 rooms. And you can't even believe that it hasn't impacted half these rooms by now. That's how quickly mold spreads. And like I said, whether it's 38 or 2,700, makes me no never mind. Not a one of the descendants of freedmen should be living in these deplorable conditions. No one should, by and large. But my fight is descendants of freedmen, American descendants of U.S. chattel slavery. That's my fight, because nobody's fighting. Well, some of us are, but not enough. We need critical mass in this fight. So I'm going to give you an email so you can blow up the president of Howard regarding these issues via email. We want to document it. We want to shut the systems down on Howard's campus through our numbers of complaints to the president about how cavalier he's been over a bazillion years with current and former students having to live in these conditions. What's there to talk about? Especially with some of the mismanagement of those funds that we've learned about over the years. Folks lining their own pockets while our children have to live with this. Several videos about conditions at Howard have gone viral on social media. Robinson posted one talking about what life has been like on campus. That's just shy of 1 million views on TikTok. Let's see if we can find it and share it. Hold on, family. I see it. I got to get...
I don't do this, but it's time to speak.
Yeah, let's hear from the children. Let me share this. Welcome to the live. One and all, please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. And thank you for your support of my voice in the new Black media. Let's see here. So let's look at this young lady. She's going to break it all the way down.
Speak up at this point. I'm a freshman at Howard University, and I have experienced some of the most challenging things in these 2 months I have been here. I have friends personally who are out of a home. Their belongings have been damaged to the point where they can no longer use them, or they no longer exist from mold exposure. People who are in the hospital coughing up blood right now because they cannot breathe with what they've been exposed to. I personally didn't have Wi-Fi for the first month that I was here. And because of that, I am now 5 weeks behind in all of my classes. But this is not something that I can fix alone. I need anybody who sees this to repost. If you see the hashtag Blackburn Takeover, I need you to repost it. I need you to share it. I need you.
I could be
Oh,
brown,
shoot.
I could
Sorry,
be blue.
family.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shayla Robinson. As y'all know, if you follow me, I'm here.
I'm trying to
I could be
center it,
brown,
family,
I could
so
be
y'all
blue,
can
I
see
could
it
be
much
black.
better.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shayla Robinson. As y'all know, if you follow me, I'm here at Howard University in Tent City at the Blackburn Takeover. And normally, like I said, I don't do this, but it's time to speak up at this point. I'm a freshman at Howard University, and I have experienced some of the most challenging things in these 2 months I have been here. I have friends personally who are out of a home. Their belongings have been damaged to the point where they can no longer use them, or they no longer exist from mold exposure, people who are in the hospital coughing up blood right now because they cannot breathe with what they've been exposed to. I personally didn't have Wi-Fi for the first month that I was here. And because of that, I am now 5 weeks behind in all of my classes. But this is not something that I can fix alone. I need anybody who sees this to repost. If you see the hashtag Blackburn Takeover, I need you to repost it. I need you to share it. I need you to comment and like and share as much as you possibly can. And from now on, it is my responsibility as a student here to inform those of you who are planning on applying, because I've seen so many people planning to apply here. Do not apply here. Hashtag do not apply. Hi, everybody. My name is Shayla Robinson. As y'all know, if you follow me, I'm here at...
Absolutely deplorable. Back to the article, family. Stand by. Oh, I'm just sickened that our children have to deal with this nonsense.
Howard University in Tent City.
Hold on.
At the Blackburn at Howard University in Tent City at the...
So let's see. Hold on. I've gone viral. Let me see what other video went viral. Hold on. This is just, I just cannot even believe our kids are having to endure this. Hold on. I see another video I want to share. I'm trying to see how to make it larger.
A potent blend of nutrients, so you can emerge your best with emergency.
Okay, we saw that video already in the New York Post article I shared. So moving on to finish out this article. Robinson wasn't able to connect to Wi-Fi for over a month and couldn't access Blackboard, a platform colleges use for assignments and grades. I can't say that I'm really being educated just because students are tired, and so is faculty. The faculty made it very clear that they are struggling also, she said. Being 5 weeks behind in my classes is very difficult. It's very difficult to catch up. In response to the issues on campus, students have occupied the Blackburn University Center for nearly 2 weeks. The students at Howard U have always been change makers and have made history as a result. My thing is, why should they have to? If you're spending $120,000 for a 4-year degree, why is even a day spent protesting against the conditions of the campus? Why? A school that's been around since what? I have to look up the year. The student, I support their struggle for safe, dignified housing. It's the same struggle Black families face against gentrification all over DC. Power concedes nothing without demand. Students say they're prepared to protest for the remainder of the school year until the mold is removed from dorms, water damage repaired, and expired air filters replaced. Everybody in here is pretty adamant on staying until our demands are met. Our demands are not demanding, they're very simple. I feel it's basic rights as a student based off the tuition we pay, said Jasmine Juf, a 19-year-old sophomore. Now, students say they are also protesting for additional off-campus housing for upperclassmen and for a student affiliate to be re-added to the university's board of trustees. The school is hurting its own reputation because this is a major issue, said Juf, a sociology major. They're making themselves look really bad. Juf said her reason for demonstrating is personal, as the mold in her dorm room gave her respiratory issues. There was a point when I thought I had COVID, she said. Howard University officials on Monday afternoon said living conditions on campus are being exaggerated. And this is the problem I have with the letter. from the president, of which I'll read to you momentarily. Our housing isn't deplorable at all. It is nowhere near the way the students are portraying it. Howard University VP of Communications Frank Trembeau said in an interview with NBC News, "Are you freaking kidding me? You got 100 plus students sleeping in the Blackburn Center and on the yard where the rats are as big as cats. You got an alleged 38, probably more, rooms with mold in them in the middle of a pandemic. A COVID that attacks the respiratory system in the same way mold does. That mold ingested, the young lady said, folks, going to the hospital, throwing up blood. It makes for a COVID playground. And this Mickey Ficky said it isn't nearly as deplorable at all. I showed you video of holes in the ceilings, water leaking from every place, from some flood that they've yet to repair. But the housing isn't deplorable at all. This reminds me of the benign neglect of the Biden administration, the old Biden administration, that gives away our reparations to immigrants and to line their own pockets and gives us a Juneteenth holiday we were already celebrating and a hip-hop August. Protesters say they have testimony from multiple resident advisors who contend the number is much higher and problems are worse. I believe the protesters. These officials are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to lie. I don't believe 100 students, 100 plus students are sleeping outside with rats as big as cats and inside the Blackburn Center over a non-issue, over housing that isn't deplorable. 2 weeks. And this is current and former students have complained about these conditions. I share with you at the top of the show. My very dear sister friend endured these deplorable conditions and was protesting and stormed the president's office. Back in the Gap. The university said in a statement last week that it was working with campus housing providers toward actively addressing the concerns our students have raised. Yeah, right. While there have only been a small number of documented facilities reports, we are actively inquiring about unreported issues that may be in the residence halls by going door to door to interview each resident, the statement said. And I bet if these kids weren't sleeping in the Blackburn Center, you wouldn't be doing this much. Because had you, they wouldn't need to be in the Blackburn Center and on the yard. Additionally, members of the administration have also toured and inspected every residence hall on campus and are addressing any documented facility issues directly with our third-party housing managers. The results of our inquiries affirm that the issues are not widespread, and the vast majority of our students are living comfortably in their rooms. The Live movement, a group that advocates for student rights and education reform, have been key to organizing the demonstrations. The group received donations to set up tents outside the Blackburn University Center, where some students are choosing to sleep outside rather than spend another night in mold-infested dorms. We're in October, in the middle of a pandemic. Why hasn't the health department intervened? Because it's our children. Robinson estimated about 100 students are taking shifts to occupy the tents. Organizations like the campus chapter of the NAACP and other HBCUs across the country have been showing solidarity with our students. Gucci Mane, who was scheduled to perform for homecoming, canceled his appearance to show his support for the movement. Ray Smurd performed in his place. The students are asking for a direct conversation with the president of the university, Dr. Wayne Frederick. Dr. Wayne Frederick is his name. And for the living conditions on campus to be improved. Students from the Live movement held a news conference Sunday after video of an altercation with campus police. Let's find that video. Hold on, guys. I'm queuing this video up so we can see it. So they're just doing this for kicks and giggles. Hold on, family. I'm trying to get the volume going so I can share it. Well, I don't know why it won't let me unmute. Okay, let me just share it because for some reason I can't unmute it. Welcome to the live, my loves. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Let's try. At least you can see it. I don't know why it's not allowing me. Maybe because I'm not logged in. I don't know. Make sure you guys can see it. Okay. This is crazy. Ooh, to Jesus. Okay, I'm going to stop. Unfreaking believable. Let me stop sharing that and see if I can let's hear the news conference. This is unfreaking believable. 120,000. Okay, let's see about this news conference. Let me see if I can. Oh, this is another one. Let me see.
Together as a family.
Okay, I can at least hear this. Hold on, let me pause it. And I'll come back over and share this one since I can hear it.
There is no movement without you all, and the Live movement want to emphasize the fact that in order for us to live, we must live together as a family. So as we continue to push forward, please continue to have us in your prayers. Please continue to have us in your meditative state and meditative word. Please continue to have us in your warm embrace, in your thoughts, and please continue to have us in your conversations. When you go into work, you better be talking about Howard. When you going to sleep, you better be talking about Howard. When you go into the bar and you having a nice night out, smoking that hookah, you better lean over and talk about Howard's situation. This need to be a regular conversation because other schools are going through very similar circumstances, and you never know which school you might impact by just speaking up about the conditions of what they're going through right now. And one thing that these students are really learning right now is the wool and the facade that Howard has been hovering over their eyes is finally pulled off. They're realizing that something to be illustrious is only of the students and not of the infrastructure. So the fact that they're learning that now, adults, I need y'all to tap in and talk to them about some living circumstances y'all been in, just living in certain apartments. Y'all been in living in certain houses. Y'all been in living in certain circumstances to let them know, like, look, this is a real life battle that you're fighting. This is not just unique to a school. This is a situation that comes with life. And to remind them to continue to keep fighting on through their life when they move on from this part of history, and let them know that they are real change makers in the future, all right? I said, all right? All right. All right, now, we're not going to be dry during this daggone festival either way. You know what I'm saying? This press conference is going to be lit. It's going to be live because we're not a drive people. We're a live people. We're a live people. So keep it lively. That's the only way we can keep going. You know, a lot of us been sleeping in these tents for 12 days. So I don't know if you know anything about sleeping in a tent. I don't know if you know anything about being homeless, but we need people to tap in and keep that energy at a high vibration, a high frequency. We love our supporters out here as well, and the students. Students, I need y'all to give yourselves a round of applause. Even if y'all just making noise, I know y'all holding up something. Y'all didn't make noise for yourselves. Come on, back. Y'all going strong and y'all going hard. All right? So let's go and get it going. Come on, Queens, and step on up. Can y'all make some noise for them? Can y'all make some noise for them? Thank you, thank you.
I'm going to stop that.
I want to thank all of you for your love and support.
I'm going to stop that for now so that I can finish out the program. And I'll put the link in as to where you can tap in and click on the hieroglyphics to finish observing that. Hold on 1 second.
In frigid weather with no heat and no Wi-Fi to be able to participate in virtual learning environments. We've been carrying all these burdens only out of love.
Okay, I want to share this. This is unreal to me. Okay, I will share the article where you can click on that and actually hear the rest of what they have to share. So the students from the Live movement held a news conference Sunday after the video of an altercation with campus police and students circulated online over the weekend. Quote, I was choked by a police campus officer, by the people who were hired to protect us, student Elizabeth Cunningham said. I am a Black girl at a Black college. I came to the HBCU to escape the oppression of the world, and here I am being physically hurt at a peaceful protest. We do not believe we are asking for much when we are asking to have a conversation with Wayne Frederick, another student, Tyler Davis, said. It is not a radical notion to have a president that wants to communicate with his students. We came to Howard University on the basis that this would be a place that we would be heard. And not only to be heard, but to be listened to. Robinson said, even though through the challenges, she's hopeful for the future. I am currently a proud student, not because I'm proud of the situations happening on campus, but because I'm proud of my peers. I'm proud of being the first in so many years to stand up, to bring light to this issue that so many before us were scared to, she said. I 100% see myself being a proud alum once these issues are met. And we can kind of laugh about it and say, hey, remember when we did this protest? Well, thankfully, those issues are finally resolved. Oh, my God, this just breaks me all the way down. Hold on 1 second.
Study for my midterms and keep my grades up while all of this is happening.
Students now calling out the administration.
I'm paying $5,000 for mold in my dorm. I'm paying $5,000 for rats.
Even leaks in their dorm rooms.
Hold on, guys.
How many students do you think that are exposed to this right now?
Hundreds. NBC News could not.
Okay, so that's more of that. So Howard University, historically Black university, was founded in 1867 in Washington, D.C. and named for General Oliver Otis Howard, head of the post-Civil War Freedmen's Bureau, who influenced Congress to appropriate funds for the school. Let's look up the misappropriation of funds. Let's look that up. Because clearly, they've received $140 million or more since 2018 through now. And these kids are paying $120,000 for 4 years, plus, $9,300 a year to live in those conditions. Hold on 1 second. So let's see here. The mismanagement of funds at Howard. I remember some scandals about this. They fired 6 employees. Now, embezzlement at Howard, March 29, 2018. Okay, hold on one second. Anonymous posting on Medium exposed the mismanagement the university had to address. Twitter went to a frenzy after records that alleged Howard University financial aid employees embezzled $1 million in financial funding were posted by an anonymous author on Medium this week. This was back in March 29, 2018. The university's student newspaper, The Hilltop, gave details of how the story received mass attention after a social media post from the student activist group HU Resist. The long-held suspicions that our university is stealing money from us have been confirmed. We deserve better and we demand better. It's time to take back our university. That was the post. Many Howard students were already skeptical of the administration on campus, and this latest news of financial wrongdoing has only increased tensions between administrators and students. I had heard people before saying that money was being embezzled. So this wasn't the first I had heard of something along these lines, said Lawrence Dow, a senior sports management student from Philadelphia. It made me think they figured out something was wrong, but wanted to avoid public embarrassment, so they instead tried to keep it as quiet as they could. It made them seem untrustworthy to me. Dow was not alone. As the news broke on Twitter, HU Resist started the hashtag Student Power HU movement on the social media platform. Students using the hashtag voiced their displeasure with the university, and some even called for the resignation of Howard president, Dr. Wayne Frederick, who's still the president. So this young lady named Lowe says, because Howard wanted to embezzle financial aid money, I'm $34,000 in debt, and I've only been at this school 2 semesters. Howard, I just want to talk. Frederick Musrain says, in the morning at Howard U, will lie and deny and blame and do anything to avoid the truth. Don't let them get away with this. Hold them accountable. The numbers don't add up. Hashtag Frederick must resign. Hashtag Hatley must go. Frederick did release a statement in response to the report that included the dismissal of 6 employees for gross misconduct and neglect of duties. However, even with the president's statement, students are still unhappy and looking for more transparency between the students and administration. So Frederick issued a second statement after meeting with students Wednesday. Okay, I'm not about to read all that. I think the strife between students and administrators already existed, said Dow. This will probably further exacerbate it, and I would be beyond shocked if there wasn't protest. HU Resist has already published a list of demands for the administration, but there's been no word if a formal protest has been planned to challenge Frederick's leadership. The name of former student employee has surfaced on Twitter as having taken money for the Howard Financial Aid Office, but he has denied any connection to the missing funds. This is a story that will continue to follow, that we will continue to follow as more developments arise. So yeah, that was $1 million that they found. That could have been used on these repairs, no less. Hold on one second. And we're at the hour. So I'm going to conclude it. Basically, when I read the president's letter, it was basically doing the benign neglect that you heard from one of the other administrators' comments that I made in one of the articles, that the conditions there were not that deplorable. And as you see, and as I've explained, you wouldn't have 100 students prepared to take over the Blackburn Center, nor to sleep outside where the rats are as big as cats, if this problem wasn't as deplorable as the pictures I share with you during this live. It is abominable, and we need to write Dr. Wayne Frederick, and I'm going to put the information. We need to write him en masse to let him know these conditions are deplorable and unacceptable, and we demand it be fixed pronto stat. So let's see here. Is there something? Okay, yeah. 2020 to 2021, in-state and out-of-state, you'll pay $28,440 for annual tuition as a full-time, first-time undergraduate student, and around $1,900 for books and miscellaneous. And on campus, let's see here. That was a $9,300. Yeah, that didn't even include. Okay, here we go. So, room and board. Okay, y'all not gonna believe this. I thought that the $9,300 was inclusive. It's worse. You pay $28,440 per year in the district, in state, and out of state. That's tuition and fees. The books and miscellaneous is an additional $1,900. Your room and board is $15,650 with an additional other expenses of $3,260. Where's my calculator? Let me tell you what these kids are spending annually, including room and board at this deplorable campus that I used to love before I found all this bullshiggity out. So $28,440 plus $1,900. I'm all about the numbers, baby, and the data. $15,650, $3,260. It's worse than what I thought, family. If you were to stay and do room and board on the campus for 4 years as an undergraduate student, including tuition, fees, books, and other expenses, you're looking at a price tag of $49,250. Multiply that by 4. For what I just shared with you is $197,000 for a 4-year degree from Howard University. I'm speechless after that. I am speechless. Please like, share, subscribe. Make this video go viral, family. We must expose it for it to change. Please email, I'm going to put it down here, Dr. And I wanted my daughter to attend here. No more. Here is his email address to blow. I want y'all to shut it down. That's what I want y'all to do. I want there to be an email overload that shuts the systems all the way down. That's what I want of you guys as my comrades in this all too important movement. Damn near 200,000 for what you just bore witness to in this live. OUC at howard.edu. Dr. Wayne Frederick, okay? Yes, Terry. He says it's sad and unacceptable. We need everybody in this, even FEMA. Yes. It's on. Okay, hold on. It's blocking your last comment. Let's see if I can show it. For some reason, I can't see it. It's being, something's in the way, Terry. I can't see your last comment. Oh, Lord, have mercy. We're being pushed on every front, family. But we must lean in. We can't give in. We can't give up. We can't give out. We have to write and blow up the president in our own words about how deplorable these conditions are and how unacceptable it is. And it's absolutely deplorable, even if only one of us was enduring this. It would still be 2,000,000% deplorable and unacceptable, even for one. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever Friedman and his allies are, God truly is, because family, you are the face of God. You are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. Until my next segment, family, know that I love you black. I love you strong. Stay tuned for the outro. Good Lord. Fix it, Black Jesus.